basically your whole, it's like a peeling your skin. The separation of your consciousness and the skin starts happening. That's the first step in the death. Then your whole consciousness gets centered on the breathing. That's why that feeling like asthma or wheezing. When that settles down, your consciousness moves to your mind. Tremendous suffering about you not living your life completely, you not actualizing yourself. But by the time you are medically dead, only 2 layers, your body will be active. By the time you go to the mental layer, the third component of you, you will be declared as medically dead, clinically dead by doctors. But after you are declared clinically dead, around 42 minutes you take completely to settle down and take another one body. In that 42 minutes, any engram inside is very strong, can get you back to the life. Those people only we call people who had near-death experience, who left this 2 layer, declared as medically dead, but came back due to some other patterns in the deeper layers. I have seen a lady, 3 times came back to life. Second time, people are shocked, because first time they did not check with the doctor. First time when the breathing is stopped, they decided she is dead and organized everything. And she got up and sat after 2 hours. So second time they made sure the doctor comes and tests, certifies. Second time they made sure that doctor checks the lady. But again she came back after 1.5 days. Third time, no really. Third time, they kept her body for 3 days. They were not ready to believe she is dead. But finally they took her body to the cremation ground. They even arranged the whole thing. Before putting the fire, the son wants to check her once. And she called Amma, Amma, Amma 3 times, and she got up and sat. Really? But in the Indian villages, there is a tradition, once you go to the cremation ground, you can't come back to the house. Really? So they built a house for her near the cremation ground and lived. I have seen her during my school days. And my own yoga guru, Yogananda Puri, of course this is yogic power, he had 47 heart attack. Doctors are not ready to believe he is going to die by heart attack. The day before his death, he has performed a feat of tying the rope in his chest and making it burst just through breathing. He tied an iron rope. Please understand, not ordinary rope, iron rope on his chest. He just completely exhaled and tied that and inhaled, and that rope broke to pieces. The power of the pranayama. But he was too old at that time. Then he was taken to hospital because he complained chest pain. During the ECG, I think 3 or 4 days they kept him under the monitor. They said 47 times heart stopped completely. Full heart attack happened. 47 times he had heart attack, but he did not die. So doctors were shocked. They said, he is not the guy who is going to die. Please take him to home. Even if he has heart attack, his heart stops. Don't think he is dead. They sent him back to the house, and few days he was resting in the house. at least 2 times. Pulse rate completely stopped, pulse stopped, and body became cold, and again he came back to life. Finally, he himself said, by tomorrow evening, bury me. And then he stopped his pulse, but body never became cold. So none of the disciples wants to bury him. Even I did not want to bury him. I said, no question of burying. The body is not smelling. Body is not signs of death. So you should not bury. We all have decided we will not bury. We will wait and maintain the body. After the decision, next day, I went to a pilgrimage place. I know he is the embodiment of Patanjali. So I went to Rameshwaram, where Patanjali's Samadhi is there, to pray. Please come back to life. I felt if I go and pray there and bring that sacred water from the 21 tirthas in Rameshwaram. Any of you have been to Rameshwaram temple? All of you should know that temple belongs to Madurai Adinam. My predecessors have voluntarily handed over. Still we have records. The temple, when it was handed over to the government, it owned 300 ton gold. Still the treasury is there. I don't know how much of gold is still left. But when we handed over the temple back to the government, voluntarily, my predecessor, one of my predecessor was Rameshwaram temple. One of my predecessor, when he was coronated as a head of the Madurai Adinam, he was a minor. So he could not run. So government voluntarily he handed over both the temples to government, saying that after he becomes major, he will take it back, but he never took it back again. So when he handed over, the documents were prepared, what all has been handed over. So in that 300 ton gold. That time, one sovereign gold was, one tola. Tola is some Indian unit. Gold was 1 rupee. 1 tola is how many? 10 grams. That was 1 rupee. So he said, the record says 300 ton gold was handed over. Still we have the records. 1 ton is 1000 kilogram. 300 ton is 300,000 kilograms. Of course, it was, Madurai Adinam was the official. So Madurai Adinam was the Rajaguru, means head of the chief guru, you call it. So the whole king's treasury was divided into 4. Army part, civilians part, king's part, and religious part. The religious part was owned by Adinam. Army part was owned by the commander. Civilians part was owned by the teachers who used to teach and conduct rituals those days. Not the temple rituals, the marriage, all those ceremonies. They are called purohits. And the king's part was owned by king. That was the way the wealth was shared in those days. So this was 1/4 of the Ramanathapuram kingdom's wealth. Understand the richness. So I went to Rameshwaram, to this temple only, to ask. But when I went to Rameshwaram, he had 14 sons. Raghupati Yogi had 14 sons before taking up sannyas. He was married, 2 wives. One wife passed away, second wife lived. She is still alive. This is the temple. And see, in that 14 sons, 2 sons were against him. They don't trust his yogic powers and all that. They don't believe him. They took the decision and buried him. They fought with others. Usually these bad fellows will be very aggressive and powerful. When I was out, they did it. When I went to Rameshwaram to pray and bring that water to sprinkle on his body, they buried it. So I could not do anything. When I came back, as per the religious ceremony, you cannot dig out the body which is cremated. So I have to tolerate and left it. Otherwise, I don't believe he is dead. He was buried when he was alive. Jiva Samadhi.